Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dan Wanis here with the Daily Fantasy Press, here to bring you another edition of NFL picks for Week 8. But before we get to that, I want to take a minute and talk to you guys about Draft.com. I know a lot of you guys have signed up, and a lot of our followers have enjoyed it. When you sign up with Draft.com and deposit at least $10, you get free access to our NFL content the rest of the season. So it's a great deal. They Draft.com. You draft a team in a snake draft each week, and you play for real cash. So it's really fun. Takes a couple minutes to draft a team, and it's something cool to check out. So be sure to give that a try and send us your username and email after you sign up and deposit. Now, let's get on to Week 8 picks. All right, so let's start out at quarterback. We have Kirk Cousins at 6,400. And we have seen this with Kirk Cousins in prior years, where he gets off to a slow start and picks it up as the season goes on. And this week, he gets a favorable matchup against a generous Cowboys defense ranking 28th DVOA against the pass. And with all his weapons being healthy again, and Chris Thompson out of that backfield that can take any check down to the house, I think this price is too good to pass up for Cousins. And let me make the note here that I'm recording this just at the start of the Monday night game. So if anything happens to the Redskins, Kirk Cousins, that will not be reflected right now. So, but at 6,400, I think Kirk Cousins opens up so much value, and he's got a solid floor with a high ceiling. So moving on to LeSean McCoy at 8,700. And last week, we were all over Shady. He was such a good value, got his first touchdowns of the year, and in this offense, right, this Bills offense is flowing through Tyrod and LeSean McCoy, and McCoy is just seeing so many touches, whether it's running or through the air, and he's in a potential shootout here at home, and I'm going to take this usage and the upside once again that McCoy has, and going to be looking to find value elsewhere. Oakland ranks 21st DVOA against the rush and 29th DVOA against receiving backs. So he is in the perfect spot this week. And even with that price increase, I still like Shady. And next we have Melvin Gordon at 8,100. And Melvin's coming off a really tough matchup against the Broncos. He had 18 carries, turning that into 38 yards, and also saw 4 targets. And Gordon's usage has been incredible this season. And this week, he gets a great matchup against the Patriots. New England ranks 23rd versus the rush in DVOA and 28th versus pass-catching backs. I think this game shoots out, and I want some pieces on both sides of the ball. I think Melvin is one of the highest ceilings this week, and at 8,100, once again, great value at that price. AJ Green, the first receiver here, at 8,600, and AJ Green let down myself and a lot of other people this last week in a division matchup against the Steelers. The Steelers' pass rush just got to be too much for the Bengals front, and Dalton had no time to throw throughout that second half. And this week, A.J. Green faces a weak Colts secondary who did get Vontae Davis back a few weeks ago, but he is nowhere near the player we saw in recent years. The Colts rank 31st against the pass and 20th versus wide receiver ones. And A.J. Green is pretty much the only option the Bengals have after Tyler Eifert went down. They have LaFell and Croft who have been seeing some targets, but other than that, these passes are naturally going to funnel to A.J. Green. Keenan Allen we have here next at 7,300. And last week, the Denver secondary held the entire Chargers offense in check, including Keenan Allen. And we saw last week he popped up on the injury report with the shoulder injury. However, by Sunday, he was off that injury report. Just something to keep in mind as the week goes on. To keep an eye on that, but he looks to be fine. And Keenan faces a porous Patriots secondary that ranks 32nd in DVOA versus the pass this season. And like I said earlier, I really like this game. And stacking Keenan Allen with Phillip Rivers in this potential shootout, I think, and bringing some Patriots back with that, it's going to be a leverage stack I use this week. Going on, we have Doug Baldwin at 6,900. And we have been waiting all season for that big game from Baldwin, and we finally got it last week. I mentioned him in the video also last week, and I'm going right back to him. A lot of people are scared of targeting this Texans defense, but we know this team has been decimated with injuries the past few weeks, and Baldwin gets an awesome matchup at home in the slot going up against Kareem Jackson, who Pro Football Focus ranks 82nd out of 111 cornerbacks. And the Seahawks at home, we know what they're capable of. And I think the trend continues this week in another solid matchup. Moving on to tight end, we have Jordan Reed at 4,700. And his salary has just dropped. It's crazy to think what he is priced at this year versus previous. And I know he's been bothered by injuries again this year. It's nothing new with him. But he gets a prime matchup against the Cowboys, who rank 29th against tight ends this year. And like I said, I'm recording this on Monday night. So if anything happens to Jordan Reed, which I wouldn't be surprised, keep that in mind. But the connection that Kirk Cousins has with Jordan Reed, I think it's established, and we've seen the struggles with Terrell Pryor, Jamison Crowder. It's been tough for Kirk Cousins to rely on those guys. So I think Reed, he's a solid option, and he has yet to find the end zone this year. And I think this might be the week that he turns a corner here. And next we have Jack Doyle at 3,500, and Doyle is becoming Jacoby Brissett's favorite target. And this week he goes up against a Bengals defense that ranks 22nd in DVOA against the tight end. And at this price, he's been averaging 8 targets a game over the past 3 weeks. And I'm going to take this value in Doyle and pay up elsewhere in other positions. Now moving on to the value picks. And I want to remind you guys, these value picks are GPP plays. And first we have Robbie Anderson at 4,200, and he has seen 17 targets over the last 2 weeks, and he has big play ability. The Jets face off against the Falcons, and I think we can expect the Jets to be playing from behind. However, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Jets do carry a lead here in this game. We have seen pretty much everything this year play out in the NFL. Robbie Anderson has 2 touchdowns on the season, and McCown's been looking his way often. So remember, GPP play only for Robbie Anderson at 4,200. Next, we have Dion Lewis at 4,600, another GPP play. And I think if you expect the Patriots to control this game against the Chargers at home, I believe Dion Lewis is a great play. He's been taking over the carries for the Patriots, as Gillislee's role has been non-existent here the past 2 weeks. Lewis saw 13 carries for 76 yards against Falcons last week, and the Patriots, they are tough to predict. And that's why I say this is GPP only, but his usage, it's trending in the right direction. And I think game script really sets up well for Dion Lewis here at 4,600. And then last, we have the Oakland running backs here, Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington. And I'm assuming that Marshawn Lynch is going to be suspended one game and does not appeal. So keep that in mind. If he is suspended this week, it's going to open up carries for Richard and Washington. I think DeAndre Washington, he's definitely seen more run this year, and he's a really explosive back out of Texas Tech. And he would be my choice over Jalen Richard only because he has that bigger playability. He's more explosive. And in a PPR format like DraftKings, his catches out of the backfield, I think he's a better pass catching back out of the two. So with those reasons in mind, I would take him over Jalen Richard, but we'll keep an eye on it and provide updates as the week goes on. So those are my week 8 picks. I really appreciate you guys giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to the videos. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Also in that description, we have our link to draft.com with promo code DFP. And remember, when you guys sign up, deposit, send us your username and email, and we will get you an NFL membership the rest of the season that's included. So I hope you guys have a successful week 8, and we will be back next week for week 9 picks. Best of luck.